A man wakes up from cryosleep on a derelict spaceship. He has no memory of who he is or what he's doing there.
Life support at 15%.
Stumbling onto the bridge, he's confronted by a woman. She attacks him. She doesn't know who she is either.
Who are you?
Another man enters and holds them up at gunpoint.
I don't know. Who are you?
I got no idea.
Welcome to Dark Matter. It's the perfect sci-fi premise. All 6 characters are amnesiacs, forced to work together, forced to trust a group of strangers. It's a neat, simple idea that can only be done in sci-fi. It could be something straight out of a classic novella or a short story, yet it opens up a universe of possibilities.
Jace Corso. Murder? Assault? Kidnapping?
It turns out they're the crew of the Raza, a ruthless band of mercenaries. Their job is to massacre a bunch of miners on a backwater colony. The core idea here is, how much do your life experiences shape who you are? And will you act differently if you're given a clean slate? Ultimately, the crew choose to do the right thing and help the miners, but they still have to figure out who they are and reconcile that with who they were.
You know who I am. I wish to speak with Hiro.
You'd expect a show like this to slowly drip feed us the mystery, but we get some answers pretty quickly. There are some great reveals, reversals, and betrayals, but actually, most of the big secrets are out of the bag by the end of the first season. It's what they do with those discoveries that makes it interesting.
I'm 1. She's 2. 3, 4, 5, which makes you 6.
All of the crew find out their names in episode 1, but no one is in a rush to fully embrace identities about which they know nothing. So, they all opt to go by numbers reflecting the order they came out of cryosleep.
We can do more. Go all the way. Commit to something. We can fight with them.
1 is the nice guy. Despite apparently being a ruthless killer, he's soft and sensitive.
And who made you team leader?
I did. By stepping up. And so did all of you by not challenging me when I did. Unless you've had a change of heart and think you can do a better job.
2 is the tough boss lady, the natural leader.
Truth is, we're nothing but a bunch of low-life mercenaries.
No, we're better than that. We're also pirates and smugglers and thieves.
It's a very diversified portfolio.
3 is the wisecracking charisma guy. Think a poor man's Kurt Russell, although I mean that as a compliment. 4 is a stoic warrior guy. Think Worf from Star Trek or Teal'c from Stargate. He's good for a few deadpan one-liners.
Are you a couple?
No.
Is there a discount?
10%.
Well then, yes. We are a couple.
5 is the teen tech whiz. She's the only complete unknown. There's no record on the ship of who she is. A stowaway, perhaps. And 6 is a soft-spoken man of conviction. A gentle giant most of the time. Oh, and there's also an android on board. The actress does an excellent Mr. Data impression, maybe playing it 10% more for comedy.
It's been brought to my attention that my behavior is sometimes unreasoned. Atypical of android standard. Weird.
The showrunners used to work on Stargate, and the style is very familiar. There's a fun, breezy quality to the interactions between the crew, and they're a fun bunch of misfits to spend time with. A lot of the episodes revolve around something from their past catching up with them. The crew are on the run with bounties on their heads, but they have no idea who to trust. An old business partner might be an ally, or someone ready to sell them out. Sometimes their ignorance about their past causes them to stumble into disaster. Let me tell you about a really good one. So, there's this big locked door on the ship. 3 is obsessed with getting in, because he thinks there might be some valuable loot inside. When he finally gets it open, he finds a woman in stasis. She wakes up, and it turns out she's his wife. She's in storage because she has a terminal illness.
Look, you may not know it, but I do. You are a good man.
They set it up like, oh, she'll get refrozen and they'll wheel her out as a recurring character once in a while. But that's not what they do. She succumbs to her illness and she dies. It's a real gut punch of a moment, especially because 3 is the most comedic and cynical of the crew. It's moments like these where dark matter really makes good on its premise.
The chair recognizes Commander.
Dark Matter's universe is a cyberpunk corporate dystopia. Ruthless megacorporations vie for dominance, and the crew of the Raza have to play them off each other to survive. Even the opposition, the anti-corporate rebels, are depicted as unsympathetic terrorists. The stories also play around with some fun future technology. My favorite is transfer transit. They lay out the rules really well.
You get into a transfer pod and input a destination. The pod sequences your DNA and maps your brain. Then that information gets sent to a subspace, anywhere across the galaxy where there's a receiver pod, where they create a clone of you, complete with your memories and personality.
The clones only live about 3 days. If they get back to the booth, they upload their memories to you. If they don't, you have no idea what happened to your clone. It's very on theme. And when they use this tech, it creates some really fun situations and imaginative fake-outs. Dark Matter ran 3 seasons, and during that time we get pretty much every big reveal the show has to offer. It did get cancelled, and it does end on a cliffhanger, but if you turn it off 5 minutes before the end, it's a pretty complete experience. The show's biggest strength is that initial setup. The stories all flow from the questions it raises. Who are we without our memories? Should we atone for past sins we can't even remember? And later on, if you have a chance to get your memories back, do you become the person you once were, even if that means essentially killing the new you? Have you seen Dark Matter? Do you know any other hidden gems I should check out? Let me know in the comments. That's all for this one. I'll be seeing you.